Hello and welcome to a new episode of Victoria 3A to Z. This time we're going in this region, in Indochina. Today we're playing Cambodia. We're finally going in the letter C. We start off as a tributary of Dynam, and we're led by Queen Eng Mei. I think we're the only country in the world who's led by a woman. Not even Britain is at the start. Oh, actually we have Isabel de Bourbon in Spain. And also in Portugal, I guess. So we are not that unique in that regard. Well, anyway, let's start doing the basic stuff. The first thing I want to go is stock exchange. And I wanna see if I can get some corlos. Not really by the looks of it. Well, I see we have a lot of silk and cotton plantations, so we could be building a pretty strong clothing sector. Well, before that, let's get some decrees, road maintenance and social mobility. And the rest of the authority I'm gonna put in taxes. A bunch of taxes. I think we can afford a single construction sector. And we'll also have to get a port in here. Now we'll have to get a better military if we want to become independent. So let's get another 10 battalions. As for diplomacy, let's improve the big guys, like Britain, and maybe Siam as well. And let's declare rivalry on this guy, for example, and improve with Burma as well. I want to make friends with all the enemies of Dynam. Now I don't like this authoritarian on the landowners, so maybe I could get him out of government and exile him. And then we get a moderate, because then we can try to get appointed bureaucrats. Diplomatic ties with France. Okay, let's make it a priority to also improve with them. And at the start we need to just build up our country and wait for our relations to improve. And if you like those videos, don't forget to subscribe. And because I'm planning something special at 10k, and the landowners really want to get secret police, I guess we'll see what we can do. Stock exchange unlocked. Now I might be trying to get some line infantry, and appointed bureaucrats failed. Well, I could try to get the intelligentsia in government, and get some landed voting. It doesn't have any opposition. Let's prepare for that line infantry with some iron mines, and an arms industry. And we'll also need some tools, and paper at some point. Oh, and the clothing industry, for sure. We'll be able to produce a lot of luxury clothes. Line infantry unlocked. Now I think I'll keep going for some society stuff. Well, at least we got landed voting. Let's form a new government. Okay, now we got some pretty big gold reserves, so I guess it's time to get line infantry. And I think it's now or never. We'll have to attack Dynam. Otherwise our economy will collapse. So let's try to get our independence. And there is a pretty good chance Siam will also join. So let's try this. Not only Siam, but also the French Republic want to join in this. But no, I think I'm only gonna get Siam. That's because France is asking for 30 ports, and I don't want to be the one who gives them any land around here. I think we can beat those guys on our own, and I will try to also conquer this state from them. And also give me war reps. And my god, this will be a very costly war. At least let's make sure we win this. And we will by the looks of it. Even Siam is pushing up here. But then the landowners are trying to plot a coup. Of course they do. My god, those guys didn't stand a chance. And they capitulated. Now we are finally fully independent. And let's incorporate our newly acquired state. And since we are now in our own market, can we get some corlos? Please tell me we can. No, not yet. I guess we'll have to focus on getting more plantations. Let's get that terrible land down. Now let's switch to a professional army. Now Siam, we have control of some land that is rightfully mine. So no, I don't really want to be friends with you from now on. Okay, and the British are willing to let me in their customs union. But I don't want that just yet. I first want to get my corlos. Well, at least professional army was enacted. Okay, now the coup is starting to lose progress. That's a pretty good sign. Coup attempt fizzles out. We had another election and the intelligentsia got even more power. Okay, let's form this government then. And finally, we managed to trigger corlos after more than 10 years. And now we can join the British customs union. There we go, we are part of the British market. So that means we can now use the best production methods available for everything. And the modern conservative is here. You, my friend, will lead the landowners. And you'll get homesteading. Time to modernize this country. Let's expand our army a little bit. Serfdom has been completely abolished. Let's continue our reform by establishing capitalism. A defensive pact with Britain. Okay, I don't see why not. And our army size became pretty comparable to that of Siam. So if we go to war with them right now, we might be able to have a chance. Okay, let's try to transfer this subject of theirs. I don't think anybody will join. Let's mobilize everyone and put them on the front lines. Britain is offering support if they get a treaty port. Well, I don't really think I need your help. Oh, come on now, stop. They just don't know when to give up. Now what I also want to do in this war is take Siamese Cambodia, my rightful land. And also Siamese Laos, why not? Then give me war reps, and that's about it I think. The war starts, and as you can see we are beating them pretty flawlessly. Let's enforce our demands. Ah yes, much better. Now we can actually go to our newly acquired subject and annex them right now. However, they will not accept. And we can establish our first company. I think I'll go for the Silks and Ice company. And we're starting to run out of bureaucracy. It's time for a government administration. Oh, and we also got laissez-faire enacted, I kind of missed that. Well, now let's go for free trade, and let's annex our subject. Of course, the enemy is still using their irregular infantry, and so I think it's a good idea to go to war with them right now. Although this guy in Malaysia might join against us, but it doesn't matter. We can still beat them, for sure. Our army is bigger and better. Actually, nobody is supporting them. I think I'll go for their full annexation, although it will be quite a lot of infamy, but I think it's worth it. Okay, they're actually holding us back, so we might want to take some defensive positions. Now we are holding them back, let's try another offensive. And this time we're beating them. And we managed to enact free trade. We got the end of core laws. Now again, let me try to get some appointed bureaucrats. But the rural folk wants National Guard, so I think it's time to end this war. How the tables have turned. For a pretty long time now we have been a subject of the Vietnamese, but now they are the ones who have to live under our rule. Well, anyway, let's start incorporating some more states. We can do them all actually, I think. There we go, appointed bureaucrats has been enacted. Oh, now I might try to go for per capita taxation. And the Heavenly Kingdom is also here. The Qing will have to deal with that. Wait a second, the Dutch East Indies became independent? No, but they're a protectorate now. Okay, pretty cool for them, I guess. Now I think we can go ahead and conquer the rest of Laos. Although Siam will definitely join against us. But I think that's fine. They don't really stand a chance against us. Although they now also switch to line infantry. Okay, pretty good for them, I guess. I will conquer Laos and I will also make them give me war rapes and liberate this country. Okay, we got per capita. Now what else can I go for? Freedom of conscience will probably work. Let's end this war with Siam. We have created some pretty nice borders. And I don't think I'm gonna continue expanding my borders. From now on I want to focus on playing tall. Now just in case a revolution will happen, I want to delete some of my units. I want to basically delete every unit which is not situated in Cambodia, my capital state. And that will also give me a pretty big surplus of money, which I can use in more construction. And I'm also creating quite a big opium industry in this state in Vietnam. We actually became the third largest producer of opium. Well, that's certainly a good thing, right? And now we're getting a Lao succession. But that's fine because they don't have any kind of units, so they don't really stand a chance. There we go, that revolt was crushed. Now we're starting to have a couple infrastructure problems here and there, so I guess we'll have to focus on getting some railways. And finally we managed to get freedom of conscience. Now we can get stuff like secular administration and free churches. Now why not, let's also try to get some public health insurance. Let's also start building a steel mill industry. Let's base it in here, we have a lot of population in that region. Okay, now all of a sudden everybody wants racial segregation. So I guess for now we'll have to cancel public health insurance. And we'll have to go for this one. And of course this was passed pretty fast. Now I would like to get some dedicated police force. And that's because we're having quite a lot of problems with turmoil. But it should get better considering now we're accepting way more cultures. But now it looks like we're getting a civil war from the rural folk. Well, like I said, they don't have any units. They'll be easily put down. And Britain even sides with me. And we also unlocked skirmish infantry, but I don't think switching to that will be worth it right now. Dedicated police force enacted. Now again, let's try to get public health insurance. The Red Scare already? Well, I suppose I don't really want this. In case you're wondering what I'm doing in terms of my industry, I'm building a lot of logging camps. Because the woodcutting business is quite profitable in the British market. Although at some point I'm probably gonna run out of space. And finally we unlocked railways. Time to build them everywhere. The French want me in their customs union. No, I don't think I will join you. I will stay with the British. And I noticed that right now we're the #1 producer of hardwood. And the second producer of opium. Oh my god, this is the smallest and weakest Italy I've ever seen. We even have a bigger economy than them. Public health insurance has failed. And it was in the last phase. Really unfortunate. Well, at least let's go for a public school system. Let's also create a glass industry. Over here, why not? And expand the steel mill industry. And maybe let's also produce some engines. Yeah, I want to de-peasant all my population. And I want some coal mines. And guess what? Public schools have been elected. Now let's try to get wealth voting, I suppose. We'll have to slowly diminish the influence of the landowners. Australia is trying to conquer Bali. You don't usually see stuff like that. And then the East Indies are helping. There we go, we now have wealth voting. So what else do I want? Total separation could be pretty good. And France is now damaging relations. They became belligerent towards us. That's some pretty bad news. I don't really want to be conquered. I'm not trying to make this map historically accurate. Total separation enacted. Now I guess you can get poor laws. And maybe I should be building a couple universities. Right in my capital. We got poor laws. Now if we get our taxes down, we can make this government legitimate. And then once we do that, we can actually ban slavery. Which is very important. Although the landowners might rise up. However, now we can get a second company. And I actually have quite a couple good choices, but I think I'll go for the opium company. And now the British want a defensive pact with me. Sure, why not? There we go, the landowners are rising up in Laos. And they have been crushed in Laos. And now slavery will be banned. Now, although under the leadership of the monarchy our nation managed to prosper and expand, Recently, a large amount of people have been growing dissatisfied with the Queen, and now there are calls for ditching the monarchy and becoming a republic. So let's go for a parliamentary one. And now Spain has expelled my diplomats. So looks like I'm starting to make a couple enemies. Well, at least the French are not belligerent anymore. Now I could try to form this more liberal government, and I think I'll do that, although I'll have to lower taxes. And looks like our queen died before we could overthrow her. Oh well, I guess we're gonna overthrow her son. There we go, we became a parliamentary republic. And now this guy is our chancellor. Well, let's go for something else. At this point we're doing pretty well economically, so we could try to open the borders. Let's see how that goes. And now we can establish our third company. I think I might go for this wood company. And the French are now invading Burma. And for some reason the British just became belligerent towards me. That's some pretty bad news. And then we get an earthquake as well. Or at least we managed to get no migration controls. Well, now I would like to go for some universal suffrage, although we don't have a lot of support. And looks like we're only receiving migration from our own country, although we're also sending some people to Belgium. So overall I think we might be losing people with this migration. But it's fine, I think. And Austria is also belligerent now, and damaging relations. Prussia is domineering. Yeah, we have a lot more enemies than friends. And France just completely conquered Burma. Yeah, looks like this entire region is heading for a pretty rough time. Again, another natural disaster. And then a civil war as well, why not? Or at least that one was pretty easy to defeat. Maybe I should also upgrade my army, you know, just in case. I'm scared that Britain might try to kick me out of the customs union and then attack me. And looks like universal suffrage is not really gonna pass. Like I was expecting, universal suffrage failed, but at least we might be able to get elected bureaucrats. And Britain expelled my diplomats and they kicked me out of the market. Now we're making no money and we have a bunch of shortages. Can I join the French? Not really. Can I join literally anybody else? Nobody seems to want me. Well, I guess we'll have to import a bunch of stuff. Okay, at least a trade agreement with the Qing. And maybe one with France eventually? Yes, there we go. I really hope the French will let me join their market eventually. Now our economy has completely been destroyed, I'm not even gonna lie to you. We were getting close to the top 10 and now we are at 22. There we go, we have elected bureaucrats. And this time there is a movement to get universal suffrage, but I'll have to wait a bit more. Okay, we're actually getting a Balinese mass migration. Yeah, Australia took that island. And also this land in Indonesia. Now let's try to get universal suffrage. And now the industrialists will rise up against me. It is what it is. Sumatra mass migration as well. I don't think they are treating the minorities pretty well. Well, I am not either, don't you worry. At least I managed to de-peasant everybody. We are now all working in the factories. However, not really productive factories, since our entire economy was based on the British market. But now we'll be able to recenter our economy on France, once we join their customs union. Looks like Indochina ending up in the French sphere of influence was just meant to be. And the French need more coal. Okay, I'm gonna produce it. And now we'll have to fight the capitalist. And our economy is going at an all-time low. Okay, all of a sudden we have a huge demand for engines. I guess I can produce those as well. And the French side with me. Okay, I can confidently say we have an ally in the world. Everybody else hates us. And now why not, let's bring everyone in government. And universal suffrage is here. Finally, after so much time, we're a fully fledged democracy. Now you know, I might try to go for something even more radical. Communism in Cambodia. Yeah, that sounds like a good recipe. We will definitely get another civil war right after this one. Oh come on now, not you too, France. You also become belligerent towards me. For real now. And they are actually in a civil war. Looks like we're gonna lose our only ally. Again, I never had such an unlucky campaign with AI. Well, Britain is now cooperative. Maybe in the future we'll be able to go back to them. Again we're in a civil war and again we are part of our own market. Aren't we the most stable country on earth? And another earthquake, you gotta be kidding me right now. This point right here is when everything started going wrong. A world to win. We can establish a socialist policy, wage subsidies or regulatory bodies. I think I'll go for the first one. And we also became a council republic. We are now fully communist. However, not under Pol Pot, thankfully. Well, anyway, I think it's about time to get some public health insurance. Okay, we managed to finish that civil war. Now I hope for a more stable era from now on. And those guys over here actually became independent from France. Okay, good. That's what they deserve. They are traitors. And public health insurance is here. Now it's time for some actual communism. We need to go for cooperative ownership. We unlock feminism, so we could go for some multiculturalism. But right now I don't know if I can be bothered. Maybe a bit later. Communism is here. Now I would like to get the children out of the factories. Let's create some schools for them instead. The Red Army. The armed forces will also now be communist. Compulsory primary school is also here. Now why not, let's also collectivize the agriculture. Although the rural folk will not really like this. And we might have another civil war, unfortunately. Oh my god, not only we're getting a civil war, but this also might fail. Yeah, it's pretty sad really. But we might sneak our way into the British market if we try a bit harder. That could be what saves us. The Workers' Republic. I can choose to become vanguardist, communist, or anarchist. I'm tempted to go for anarchy, but that's only because I'll be able to pass multiculturalism. So yeah, I think I'll do it. Okay, the British market. Once again, let's go. Oh yeah, look at that line go up. That's what I'm talking about. Finally, we're starting to get our act together. Agriculture has now been collectivized, and now now I believe it's time to actually go for multiculturalism. It will definitely pass. There we have it. Now I'm expecting a lot more migration. And looks like I'm actually getting them. Quite a lot actually. And let's also try to get proportional taxation. It's a little bit better right now than graduated. Proportional taxation is here. And I'll try to invest as much as possible into education and healthcare. And maybe let's get some workers protection. And also the French hegemony over Burma seems to be ending. Most people are getting their independence around here. Workers protections. Now what else do we have available? I guess we could get old age pension. There we go. Now at this point the game is running extremely slow. So let's take a look around the rest of the world. As we can see, Britain and France are still colonizing Africa. And this country, the Luo, actually got their independence. And oh my god, what happened here? Just look at Persia. Look at Egypt. Look at Port Tripolitania. Look at Tunis. Tunis is not even in Tunis anymore. What's going on here? This is just painful to look at. Let's just go to Europe. Where we can see Austria has united South Germany, Scandinavia also formed, and Italy kind of formed, I guess. Can you even call this an Italian unification? Yeah, pretty complicated. Meanwhile, North America is looking like usual. Brazil took half of Colombia, but other than that, everything is okay. Anyway, let's go back to us. We are now the 12th largest economy. We managed to come back from the dead. We have an alright literacy rate, and one of the best standard of living in the entire world, with a huge growing population as well. So I think it's safe to say that this time, for Cambodia, communism actually worked. So those are all the laws I managed to pass. Those are my institutions. That's how the census data is looking like. And those are my 3 companies. As you can see, very productive. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more Victoria 3 A to Z, and I'll see you in the next one.